What's going on, guys? I hope you're all having a great day. We have a very good video planned for you today. I hope you guys do enjoy it. But in the beginning of this video, we are going to be installing a light bar on the 1000. We're going to be installing it on the front bumper. I kind of gave you guys a hint a couple videos back that we were going to be putting a light bar on the front of it. Some of you guys guessed it, some of you guys didn't, and there's a freaking bug flying around my face. But we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the installation in the beginning of the video, and then whenever it gets dark out here tonight, we're going to be showing you what the light bar looks like, how bright it is, things like that. I'm looking forward to that. We got a few hours until sundown, so we got a lot of things to get done before then. But first, you guys were kind of confused on the key situation last video, so I'm going to be showing you guys exactly the differences between the keys per owner's manual. So these are the two keys it comes with, the new Canams. I got obviously a 2017 right here. I got my 2017 XMR right here. This one's 850. If you're new to the channel, it's the XT. My brother's is in the backyard right now. His is a 2018 XMR 850 Can-Am as well. So we're pretty familiar with the key situation. We pretty much got the key situation down. We're not experts in these Can-Ams by any means, but we know which keys do what. So the green key is the learner's key. The white or gray key, now it's actually physically white. This is a white key, but in the owner's manual it's referred to as a gray key. Give you guys kind of a close-up. I mean, you guys tell me, that's a white tag next to it. That key looks very white to me. I mean, there's very little, any hint of gray in that key, but nevertheless it is referred to as a gray key in the owner's manual. So this is the key I used in my last video, and here's where the confusion came in. And a lot of people commented that I was using the wrong key. A ton of people. It actually surprised me. The first few people I kind of just blew it off or whatever, and then I kept getting comment after comment after comment saying I should be using the green key. So I'm like, whoa, we need to talk about this in the next video. So that's what we're doing right now. So here's the owner's manual. 2017 Operator's Guide, XMR Series Outlander. Let's see. Can-Am, BRP. Just want you guys to know that there is no funny business going on here. It looks kind of old because I may or may not have went mud riding the first day and forgot to take this thing out the back, so it got a little bit dirty. We are on page 79 in the owner's manual. You can see right here it already says normal key. Normal key is green. You can see right here it kind of shows you about the security system. It's called a... see what it's called. It has the words on it right here. A digitally encoded security system. That is what DESS stands for. Pretty much the only keys that can start this bike are these right here. The only keys that'll start that one over there is these keys right here. And I don't want to sit here and make this too long, so I want to get to the point. So the DESS of your vehicle can be programmed by your authorized Can-Am dealer to accept up to 8 different keys. The vehicle is delivered with one normal key, green in color, and one performance key, gray. So performance is your gray key or your white key, and the green key is kind of your learner's key or your normal key. And it will only do about 70% of what your ATV is capable of. So now that we cleared up, that confusion right there, you guys know now, green key, learner key. I call it the drunk buddy key. White key or gray key, that is your performance key, and that is what I was using in the last video. Now, with that cleared up, I am looking at different options to get the ECU Reflash. If you're new to the channel, no, I do not. Before I get a ton of comments, I do not normally run. These are my 850 tires on the 1000. My tires are right here. And I got my fourth one over there in the corner. I know I was going to get a lot of comments on that, so I wanted to cover that really quickly. But I am looking at getting the ECU reflashed on the 1000 so that I can go. This thing will hit 90 no problem. And a lot of guys were commenting that have Honda 550s or Kawasaki's or maybe a Grizzly. They were just commenting. They were like, man, your 1000 is a piece of crap. It'll only hit 65 because the ATV is governed at 65 because it's, and a lot of people, man, I keep talking about these comments, man, but a lot of people were like, man, obviously it's not going to go fast. It's low geared. It's only going to have low end power. And I didn't really think I had to go over, key situation, low gears, things like that in that video, but I really wish I would have hit on them because I was getting comment after comment after comment just talking about low gears. It's not fast high gears and this and that, and that's why it's governed, and the green key is supposed to be performance key. There's a lot of things, so I wanted to clear up that in this video. Obviously, this said low end. It's an XMR model, so it's going to have low end gearing, and it's going to be very quick off the line to spin big tires. We all know that. I don't. That's not something I have to put out in a video, or at least I didn't think I had to put it out. But anyway, nevertheless, very fast bike, will hit 90, no problem whatsoever. I just have to get the ECU reflashed. I already called the dealership. They said they couldn't do it for liability issues. I said, okay, I understand. You guys commented down below about a guy named Mr. RPM, I think his name is. I'm actually going to be getting in contact with him next week, hopefully to be able to see about getting this thing reflashed so that I can hit, 90 or whatever and just do a speed test with it reflashed. I think that'll be a pretty good video. So stay tuned for that, guys. I'm looking into it right now. And thank you for commenting his name down below. A couple of you guys did, so he's probably got a pretty good reputation. So I'm going to be calling him next week and getting in touch with him on that situation. But anyway, let's jump right into the light bar video now that we've discussed all of that. That little bit of confusion in the last video, just wanted to cover it really quickly. So no surprise to you guys, I get all my lighting. Who would have guessed it? The HID factory based out of Houston, Texas. That's the number and the address right there if you guys wanted to get in contact with him. Ask for Travis. He's the one I go through with all of my lighting needs. He's the one I trust. He's the one I go through for cab lights, switchbacks, my LED headlights. My headlight build is being built by him right now. Should be done middle of next month. And by the way, guys, the headlight build I'm going to go with, the headlight housings, they're going to be pretty cool or whatever, but the actual headlights I'm getting, I don't want to give any information out, but pretty much one of the first few on YouTube to have this setup. Now, I'm not going to be the first one to run the setup, but it's a brand new mechanism. I guess I'm just going to call it a mechanism. I don't want to give really any information out on it, but it's going to be a great headlight setup. I'm really excited for it. You guys are going to be blown away at how sick these new headlights are going to be. Trust me, these things are looking like crap. I got these things like 3 years ago off of eBay, and for like 150 bucks or whatever. They haven't done, they haven't done bad, but the actual headlight housings themselves is what I'm talking about. They haven't done bad, but it's really time to get a new pair. They're getting kind of yellowish on the lenses and things like that. They're just getting old. They're taking a little bit longer than normal to be built, only because we're waiting for the product to be released as far as my headlight bulb is concerned. But tomorrow's video is probably going to be about the truck. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for videos about the truck, so I'm planning on making a video about this thing tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. We're going to jump right back into the video on the light bar. So this thing is going to be a 6-inch, because I only have 9 inches. I'll show you guys where it's actually going. I only have about 9 inches to play with. I measured it out whenever I called him about getting this light bar done and ordered. I got about 9 inches right here, so we went with 6 inches. A 6-inch light bar that's going to stretch about here and obviously have about 1.5 inches of room on each side. Then I'm going to run the wires through underneath. There's a little hole right here. That's your recovery hookup point. I'm going to run my wire underneath here where it's secured and not going to get torn up and stuff on the trails. Then I'm going to run it up here to a switch. I'm going to drill a little bit of hole right here for my switch. I'll show you that switch here in a second. But it's just going to connect very nicely, going to be all concealed, not get torn up on the trails. Then obviously just going to ground it and power it through my battery source right here, which I need to clean up that terminal. It's a little dirty. Probably get that cleaned up here in a second. But here's the actual light bar itself. Like I said, 6 inches. It's a flood light bar, so you guys are going to see lines on the lens right here. That's because it's a flood light bar. I don't really like the look as far as the lens goes, but as far as drivability and driving it on the trails, this flood light bar is going to be a little bit better than they call it a driving option or a flood option. This is the flood option. The driving option, the lens looks more like this. That is what the lens looks like on the driving option. And I'm actually talking to Travis right now about grabbing me one of these as well, so that we can do a comparison video between the driving light bar and the flood light bar, so I can kind of show you guys the differences between how they look on the trails at night. I think that'll be a pretty good video. So I may even order one just so I can show you guys kind of the difference. So be looking out for that possibly in the works in the near future. But here's the wiring harness right here. Very easy. He always has everything already ran. All you got to do is literally connect. It's everything is pretty much a run and connect system whenever he sends something out to me. So that's what I like about that. He already has the switch all wired up. Of course, he has, some thick gauge wire, so it's not going to go bad or get torn up very quickly and stuff like that. So, little resistor right here. You got your battery terminal, ground and power. I mean, you guys get the gist. It's not very hard. You got a little extra fuses and butt connectors he threw in here at the bottom. You got your hardware right here. You got a few bolts, some nuts, some Allen keys, I'm guessing, to connect the brackets, which the brackets I just had right here a second ago. What did I do with them brackets? Oh, here they are right here. They fell down. They fell down here between this little cubby hole. There's one of them. And here's the second one. So here's your brackets right here. That's what you got the Allen keys for, to go ahead and loosen up them on the side. Install your hardware. Now he sent me 2 self-tapping screws. You guys can see them self-tappers down there at the bottom. So I'll probably be using the self-tapping screws as my way of securing it. I haven't even honestly looked at it. I haven't even drawn it up or kind of pre-planned a little bit. I'm just making this little intro clip. Then I'm going to put you guys up on the stand and kind of walk you through of how I'm installing this. So kind of look at it, but it's pretty much going to look something like this. Probably going to self-tap right straight into the brush guard and secure the light bar nicely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look into this a little bit more, try to figure out how I'm going to mount the light bar. Then I'm going to run my wires, and I'll check back with you guys here in a minute.
Get my damn flex on. Going real hard like a DMX song. Gotta lay low when I stand back zone. Got a girl up north and a fan back home. Can't nobody do it like me, man. You can never understand, it's a G thing. I'm about to make a call to the Wii, man. Just a little something for the pregame. Young boy from the west, but it's love in the south. Goons on deck, put the slug to your mouth. Don't say a word if it's drugs in the house. I'ma call code red if it's bloods in the house. West Coast shit, man, I feel like Kane. Dress getting long, man, I feel like.
Alright guys, just want to give you a quick update on what's going on with the project. We're about 45 minutes into it right now. We just tested to make sure we had good power, good connecting power. So I did hook up the battery terminals. Got to finish running our wires. We did run our wires underneath here for our power and ground to our light bar. We took off this service panel, and good lord, it is dirty in here. It needs a good wash whenever I get back. I'm going to probably take a trip to Boggs and then wash it after. You know, take the panels and tires off and things like that. But we ran all of our wires down through here, or up through here I should say, and we're going to zip tie and secure it. Just wanted to make sure a second ago that we had good power. And I don't know if you guys saw in the time lapse, but I did have to grind off the corners of this bracket to make sure it fit. Now I thought I was going to have plenty of room for the bracket, being that it was a 6-inch light bar and we had 9 inches of space, but turns out I did still have to grind off a little bit on the edges. So it's on both sides. Had to grind that off. You guys can see right there, just so it would fit around that bar. Same thing on this side. Now with these self-tapping screws, I'm hoping to still use the self-tapping screws. Hopefully they go straight through the front brush guard, but you know, we don't know for sure if they will or not yet, but I'm still counting on that. Hopefully my drill is powerful enough to send it through. But as originally planned, I ran my wiring harness down below and it seemed to work very well. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna finish wiring all this up. I'm gonna drill my spot for my switch. Oh wait, hold on, let me show you guys kinda. All right, so we got a switch right here, on, off, on, off, on, off. So we know we're getting power. So now we're good to go ahead and proceed with this project. So what I'm going to do, probably self-tap screw this resistor in this area somewhere and drill my hole for my switch, tighten up my wires, use some zip ties. I got my zip ties right here. Make this a little cleaner, and then I'll check back with you here in a minute. Alright guys, just wanted to catch you up real quick. We already mounted the light bar with the self-tapping screws. Ended up working very nicely and it's really secure. We tightened up and cleaned up the wiring running from the light bar to underneath the seats where the battery goes. We got a little bit more wiring to tighten up. Now we're doing the button. I wanted to record this one just in case I mess it up. You guys can probably laugh at me. But we got our starter hole going. We got a pretty decent sized starter hole. Now we're going to hit it with a little bit bigger of a drill. I think it should be fine. We may have to go down a little bit in drill bit size. I'm going to look at it here in a second. And then we're going to snake this through and then connect it to our other end, which is right here. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now. And yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit lower in drill bit size. I like to slowly increase in size so that I know I'm not gonna mess anything up. But eventually, I am gonna have to go to that big drill bit size, I do believe, because this button is pretty thick. So we're gonna need a pretty decent sized hole. All right, so we got a little bit smaller of a drill bit this time. Freaking bugs are ridiculous today. Well, it is Alabama, so bugs are pretty much ridiculous every day. That's a little bit bigger of a hole right there. We're gonna go probably another couple sizes up and drill bit before we get to our monster size one. I didn't time lapse these last like 15 minutes or so, maybe even 20 minutes. It took me a little bit to get that light bar mounted up, but I didn't time lapse it because I don't want the whole video to be freaking time lapse. So that's kind of why I'm updating you now. Dang, these flies are ridiculous. Alright, we got our 1/2 inch. It's a 1/2 inch drill bit. I think we're ready for it. It's only a little bit bigger than our hole. Still gonna probably go a little bit bigger because we're gonna have to cut this down in there. Actually, this end right here, which is even bigger. Well, hold on, let me see. Probably a smarter way to do this. Probably deconnect these ends. Thinking about doing is just taking all of these off. Probably the smarter way to do it in the first place. So I'm going to take all these off and then run my wires. I'll catch up with you guys here in a second. Alright guys, we are all done with this project. We got our fender liner back in there. We got our light bar mounted up. Pretty clean install, very sturdy, doesn't move at all. Looks pretty good up here. Can't wait till tonight so I can see how bright this thing is. By the way, it is called a wide angle. Not flood, I messed that up. So it's not wide angle, or I mean it's not flood, it's wide angle or wide. This is driving, so that's kind of a perspective on where your light is beaming. I chose to go with wide because I like to get a nice idea of what's to the left or right of me. So in case there's like a trail coming up left or right, I can see it before I hit it. With this driving, you could drive right past the trail and not even see it at nighttime. So that's kind of why I went with the wide. Like I said, I like the way the driving one looks, but I like the way the wide performs, if that makes any sense. But that's a nice little representation. They show a chart right here as well, and then the instructions are on the back of this piece of paper that the HID provides you guys with. So I'll show you kind of the button and the wiring. Kind of zip tied all this nice and neat so it doesn't get in the way whenever I go to put the seat back on, which is over there. But whenever I put the seat back on, it should go back on undisturbed. Grounded, of course, self-tapped the relay down there so it doesn't move. And then our switch is nice and tight, doesn't move at all. Water will not get in there. And it's just pop, goes off, on, off, on. But with the install complete, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit more in here, put my seat back on. Alright guys, it is nighttime. Sorry to cut the video so short there, that last clip, but the video was getting so long I didn't want to make it any longer, so I went ahead and cut it and just want to get right to this ending part because the video is at like 18 minutes right now. I was just doing a little bit of editing on it and I decided to trim the ending because I just started blabbering on about nothing. But anyway, we're about to show you guys how bright this thing is. I already looked at it. It's very impressive. I think you guys are going to really like it. So I'm going to cut the lights in the garage and show you guys what it looks like. I think you're really going to like this one. By the way, VP for my brother's truck has already been shipped to Thoroughbred as of a week ago. Haven't heard from them yet, but should hear from them soon. Just keep the overhead garage light on. It shouldn't really affect it too much. I already showed you guys, of course, where the switch is. So switch right here, you can't really tell because it's nighttime, but this is just going to be a light bar. This isn't going to be any headlights at all. So that is how bright it is. Super white, very clear. I can see about 50 meters ahead of me, and I can see way over there to the left and way over here to the right. Look how clear it is to the right. Look how bright it is to the right. That's what I was kind of discussing earlier in the video when I was saying how I chose the wide over the driving for this sheer fact that I can see trails coming up to my right and left rather than just tunnel vision up ahead of the trail like a driving light bar would do. So you guys kind of get the idea. A super bright light bar. I even get in front of it so you guys can know that I'm not lying to you. There's no headlights on whatsoever. No headlights, just that light bar. And it is super bright. It's lighting up everything. Like, my four-wheeler isn't even outside the garage, and you can see all to the right of my property. You know what I mean? So it's not even like, it's not being helped out at all. Then you can see all the way to my mailbox over there. No problem. The freaking truck's in the way, the 4Runner's in the way, and the light is just so bright it's still shining all the way across the street on the other side. So I'm very happy with it. It turned out very nicely. I am very impressed with this light bar. It's putting out a ton of light and doing its job pretty well. I'm going to cut these lights on and end out this video real quick. First off, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I know it was a long one. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. It really means a lot to me. Please leave a like down below if you did enjoy the video. It helps the channel grow a lot. No, I did not forget about the 1,500 likes on the fender flare video. Trust me, I did not look that one over. It's in the work, guys, believe me. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. By the way, full disclosure, I always have full disclosure with you guys. The ParoDoXz Hookup 10, I want it to be very clear, I do not profit off of that whatsoever. That is an idea that Travis came up with just to plain out help you guys out, because he knows what I do over here at the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get better light, but he knows what I do over here at the YouTube channel. He wants to help you guys out, so that's a way he can help you out and save you a little bit of money. So ParoDoXz Hookup 10, if you do go to buy anything on his website, that's a way that he can help you out. I do suggest that, save a little bit of money if you wanted to go ahead with kind of the same lighting setup that I'm running on the ATV or truck. And by the way, guys, I was going to do a trail riding video so you guys can see the light bar in use on the trails tonight, but believe me, you guys will be seeing that countless times in the next few videos and the next videos down the road. You guys will see how this light bar performs on the trails. To be completely honest with you guys, this video took a little bit longer than I thought, and it's me and my wife's anniversary, so we got dinner planned and things like that. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time with the family. But that is gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. 'Cause you know that I'ma throw that